Welcome to the forecasting tutorial related to dew point. As I go through the information on forecasting dew point, please feel free to take notes in your forecasting tips section on the humidity page of your weather guide. So as we begin to take a look at dew point, the big thing that you're going to be focusing on here is the areas of moisture. Because remember, dew point is a measurement of how much water vapor is in the atmosphere. We're basically looking at how close or how far away the dew point is from the temperature. So when you begin forecasting dew point, you need to make sure you have your temperature forecasted first. Okay? So the first thing I want to assess when I'm taking a look at the forecast for dew point is going to be if there is an area of moisture moving into our part or near our part of Pennsylvania. So let's take a look at this slide here, and we're going to go 4 frames into the future and watch what happens. So click 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can see that this storm system that started out over here moved into our area, kind of broke apart a little bit, kind of went around us. I'm going to go a little further as well, just to take a look at this system here, this piece, and see if this ends up coming into our area. And it looks like it does. It doesn't come directly over us. So what that tells me is that there is going to be moisture in the atmosphere. Okay, so that tells me that I need to bring my temperature and my dew point closer together. Now, I'm not going to make them the exact same number because that area of moisture is not directly over top of us. If it were to be over top of us, like, let's see if we can find a frame that looks good for this, like this guy, this is when we would forecast that the temperature and dew point are exactly the same number. But in the case of the slides that we're focusing on, let's go back here. Okay, when we move forward here to these frames and take a peek at them, we can see that the moisture gets close to us but doesn't directly impact us. So I would predict that my temperature and dew point would be close together, but not exactly the same number. Now, the way that you determine the numerical value of your dew point is based on what you started with the previous day for your weather calendar or for your current conditions. So what you need to look at is you need to subtract the difference between the temperature and the dew point for the current conditions. And that's going to be your jumping off point. So if your temperature is 32 degrees Fahrenheit and your dew point is 22, the difference would be 10. So looking at this forecast here, I can see that that moisture is coming in that 24-hour period. So I'm going to take that difference of 10 and I'm going to make it smaller. So I might change it to, according to this picture, maybe to about a difference of maybe 7 or 6 degrees. So once I've forecasted my temperature for 24 hours, I will subtract about 6 or 7 degrees from my temperature and record my dew point. Okay? Again, these changes tend to be small. We don't like to make massive changes in our dew point from one day to the next. So I'm not going to take my dew point and go from a 10-degree difference to a 30-degree difference overnight. It takes time for that to happen. Okay? The only time that you might have a drastic or more drastic change in the dew point is when you have, like this, a large storm system move in, where you go from relatively dry air to a very large system, making the temperature and the dew point equal. Now, if you get into a situation, for example, where the storm is moving out, then you're going to take that temperature and your dew point and you're going to make them farther apart. Okay? And if you notice on these few slides here, we have quite a few days or slides of no precipitation. So every day that you have no precipitation, you're going to make that difference between your temperature and your dew point a little bit farther apart until you start to see a new system come in and take over like it does on this frame. So now that you've seen me forecast the dew point on these GFS slides, please take some time to go through the Google quiz that you'll find underneath in Google Classroom. This quiz is not counting in Skyward, it's for practice to help you improve your forecasting scores. I hope you enjoyed this, and good luck on your forecast.